Hi, very good evening. This is Sangeeta from my home office at Delhi. And can you see and hear me? Say hi in the chat box, right? Let us set some ground rules for this webinar. And you will ask questions at the end. And please keep a notebook and pen ready so that you can take notes. Anything, any idea can change your life. You can start thinking differently if you take some notes. Many idea may come up because I have heard all these ideas from my mentors. And this is something new from the digital world, right? So please take notes. Indeed, they are very useful. And stay for 90 minutes because to explain everything I'll take 90 minutes. So please hear out anything that I have to say so that you can make a decision, make an informed decision. And thank you for being here. You might have been anywhere to today evening, but you chose to be here, and thank you for that. And you will start learning something from this webinar itself. Uh, uh, you will of course learn something with whatever I am saying, but from this webinar itself you will start finding your solutions, and you will leave this webinar a wiser person. I'm sure about that. And if it is exciting, then say exciting in the chat box. Thank you, and let me share my screen. So this is who this is for. Let me share the first slide. It is a three-step blueprint of leadership growth using resourceful influence. What is resourceful influence? It is about something, some aptitude, some skill, some experience that you have, which are not from the college or university or anywhere from a systematic schooling, but you have learned it and you utilize it well. Everybody knows you about that. It is not a degree, right? Still, you make use of this particular quality of yours to make a difference at workplace. That is what resourcefulness is. Resource is something which is required to execute something, right? And if it is not there yet, then you create resource. That is what resourcefulness is all about. And make a difference and influence people with this resourceful influence to achieve leadership growth, right? And who this is for? This is for mid-career professionals who have 5 to 12 years of experience and feeling stuck and unfulfilled. You know, people, when they have this kind of experience, they start feeling uh, frustrated at workplace because of several reasons. Might be salary, might be because of the boss, might be of workplace toxicity. We will see how many reasons are there for people feeling frustrated. But wherever I go, when I travel in train, bus, anywhere, even in flights, I have seen people cribbing about their workplace issues. And when people are dissatisfied about their workplaces, they don't perform at 100%, right? And they don't feel happy about that, definitely. And in this process, when they complain, when they crave, they actually waste their energy, and it doesn't do any good to them. It doesn't do any good to anybody. It doesn't do any good to even them, right? So this is what we'll be discussing as to how to utilize that energy, rechannel that energy with little shift. And within this within this course syllabus, actually what we do is we design a roadmap. We start feeling being sought after. People start looking for us and create victories, workplace victories, and we are ready for 3x growth. 3 times whatever we are, we start having growth. We start feeling sought after. We start feeling important, and then we make growth obvious. If you are a very important person at your workplace, you will be obviously you will be given the promotions, the salary increment, the hike, everything, right? And the leadership position as well. So there are three secrets of resourceful influence. The first secret is it is an obvious foregone conclusion that the resourceful person wins continuously, and he or she wins continuous recognition and growth. The second secret is how to succeed and achieve your goals despite organization related struggles. And the third is the big secret to stay relevant without feeling burnt out. At times you might feel that you are doing too much all the time. So when there will be a stop to all this, that might be your thing. So we'll discuss how to do that, right? So who I am? I'm Sangeeta, of course. I'm a leadership growth mentor, and so far I have trained 18,000 professionals to impact 1 crore lives. And I am not certified to be a trainer. I am not from HR background. I am a mathematics graduate, and I have so far in the course of my projects and work, I have already trained 18,000 professionals, and I have seen that each of them have at least two extra skills that nobody has recognized so far. Even they themselves have not recognized. So that is what I have seen, and they are doing great themselves even after my training and in life. So if they are doing great, then I'm pretty sure that anybody can do this thing. And I'm always convinced that everybody is born unique, everybody's circumstances are different, everybody is learning differently, and so everybody can succeed, right? So why I am doing this? Because mostly people, very potential people also, they waste their energy in negativity and distraction. Because of negativity, they are always complaining and grieving. That is why it is negativity always. They are not able to focus on something positive in their life. Every day something positive is happening and they are not able to see that. I have a doctor friend who is not able to see anything good in her circumstances because of some things she wants, and that is not happening. She is not allowing it to happen. That is what we can say. If you don't start thinking about something, how can it happen, right? You have to do something for something to happen. And if you give yourself some time to find out what actually you want and which way you want to go, then only you can utilize your energy positively, right? uh, these are so where from I got these ideas. So defining moments in my life is I'm very closely uh, I'm very close to my father, right? And he has a lot of influence in my life. And why I follow is firstly, because I'm a daughter. All daughters are chamchis of their father. But my father is something like, say, he always loved his work. And that is what I liked. He was so different from other people. While other people were grieving, complaining, he never complained. Even though there were a lot of negativity in his life, he never complained about workplace and never complained about his life. He never did that. So that is why I follow him. He taught me few principles in life. So he told me that nobody likes to be working behind the stage. So nobody sees the person who is working behind the stage, but anybody who is working behind the stage is instrumental in making the drama, the whatever is going, the play, whatever is having on the whatever is playing on the center stage to be successful, right? So unless the person behind the screen is working, the center stage will not be successful. But nobody wants to be behind the screen. Nobody likes to be a kingmaker. Everybody wants to be the king. Nobody wants to make the king. Nobody wants to give credit to the king, somebody else, right? But if you allow credit of the achievement to go to somebody, then you can achieve enormously. So how big your goal is, that is where you can define your happiness, your meaningful life and everything, right? The dimension of your goal defines as to how much happy you can be. So if you don't allow the credit to go to somebody, then you will always fight. Your energy will be invested in keeping the credit to yourself. So you will invest in keeping the credit to yourself rather than achieving something big, right? So this is the third learning that I had from him. And he told, the fourth thing that he told is, if you don't participate in decision making, then you will not be able to make decision when the time comes. So in government, what happens is, like say for 20 years or so, people are not allowed to make any decision. They are expected to follow the decision and directive of the senior. And suddenly when they are promoted after some years, they are expected to make decisions. They can't. So that is why most of the time we say that the government is not able to take a decision. Who is government? Government is the sum total of the people, right? And the people, they are not trained to take decisions. So this is the fourth thing that I learned from him. And then the fifth thing he taught me was, if you make 5% more effort, sometimes what happens, we whatever effort we are making, we are okay with it. Sometimes we feel that something else is there to be explored, and we don't give ourselves any time. We don't allow ourselves to explore more. That 5% extra effort will bring very startling stories and startling dimensions of life, of whatever work you are doing. So that 5% nobody usually invests. So that is the five thing that I learned from my father. And when you explore extra, you will see that you will find a solution, a resourcefulness in it. Let me show you how. So the first experience of resourcefulness happened when I attended a HR workshop where I was from the smallest institution, and people were there from the very big institution as well. And the requirement was to present the HR policy. So everybody presented their HR policy, and my organization was so small that it didn't have a HR policy. So what I did was, I took a time off, a day off, and designed the HR policy and presented the other day. So it impressed everybody. So I'm not from HR background, but this is what, because I was working, you gain some insights, right? When you work with a team, you gain some insight. When you work with an organization, you know the organization, and accordingly you can design a HR policy. The plus minus can happen. You may not be drafting an entirely perfect HR policy in the first attempt, but you can make a brilliant attempt at the first time, right? So that is what I did, and people appreciated uh, my resourcefulness. And everybody was also surprised to know that I was not from HR background. And that was my first achievement. And when I applied to this biggest company, based on this experience, the people who attended this HR workshop actually recommended me to that company. So I otherwise wouldn't have got into that big company, because I didn't have that the required qualification of MBA or PhD. But because of my resourcefulness, I got into the big company where I worked for next 10 years, right? Almost 10 years. So let us see what the industry data says about dissatisfaction, employee dissatisfaction and stagnancy. Usually, we see that salary is the biggest contributor of dissatisfaction and stagnancy. Relationship with boss is the another. Work condition is, of course, the third one. Supervision and micromanagement is the fourth one, and relationship with peers is the next 10. There are many other factors also, but these are the main factors, and sub factors of these are there. And if you look at this graph, it says that the same factors which creates employee dissatisfaction are good for some other people also. Other people, the employees who company policy. If you look at this graph, it says about 74% of people, they didn't agree. They thought that company policy is negative towards their happiness and stagnation, their growth. But 26% think that because of company policy they are growing. Supervision, the micromanagement thing, 23% say destructive, but 77% wanted micromanagement. Not actually exactly micromanagement, but supervision, creative supervision they wanted. Similarly, with relationship with boss, 63% of course wanted a better boss, but 38% are happy with their boss. Work conditions, 52% didn't like, but 48%, almost same percentage of people, they liked work conditions. Salary, 70% didn't like, 30% still were happy about uh, their salary. Relationship with peers, the same condition, right? So what happens? Why don't you think that why the same condition, if it is transparent and taken in a creative way, then the same condition will be very positive, constructive for employees. Then when you are unhappy about your workplace, then ultimately of course you will leave. But do you leave immediately? It takes about 6 months to 3 to 5 years to get another job, proper job. And 80 to 90% of people get another job after 5 years. So till they get another job, they stay at workplace and they function at less than 20% of productivity. So it is a hugely wastage thing, sorry, wastage of employee performance, employee potential, right? So I did some some market research saying that whether all these factors are really effective for workplace issues. So can you be you at work? 46% say always, but rest of the people, 54%, they were saying they were not always themselves. Why most people fail to succeed? There are so many reasons why people fail to succeed, right? And but if you look at all these graphs, it says that not always the workplace issues, the workplace conditions are reasons. There are many other reasons as well which contribute to, which affect workplace performance, which are not related to workplace issues. For example, if you can see the mm, white factors here, factors written in white, those are workplace issues. But those factors which are in mentioned in pink, these are not workplace issues. These are personal issues, personality issues, mindset issues. And because people are not able to handle themselves, that is why these issues are created, and these are not workplace issues. Who to blame then? What to do to stay? If you take, for example, if you take the example of self-doubt, what can the workplace condition do to increase, suppress your self-doubt, and self-acceptance or self-confidence can be created? There is nothing, right? You have to work on yourself, asking for help, finding more pain than pleasure. Some people are so sensitive that all the time they feel kind of, they feel as if somebody is telling them something negative, right? Fear of change, fear of failure, something amiss, restlessness is the recent thing that I am being told, right? So why this? How to deal with this, which are not workplace issues? So again, let us come back to the three secrets. The resourceful person wins continuous recognition and growth. Secret number 2 is how to succeed and achieve your goals despite organization related struggles. Secret 3 is the big secret to stay relevant without feeling burnt out. So let us see what my mission is, why I'm trying to do this. If I can help people overcome these issues, then my mission is to impact 1 billion lives with 1 lakh these kind of super performing global players. Like say these people, if they can overcome their doubts, then they can become super performing global players. They can understand more, much more than their immediate issues. And I want to train 1 lakh such people to impact 1 billion lives worldwide in 139 countries to be precise, with a $1 billion enterprise. It won't run without money, right? So this is my mission. And my system is Resourceful Influencers Club. These people will be resourceful people who can also train others to be resourceful. Everybody and anybody can be a resourceful person. So that is the club that I have created, and that is the system. I call that as my Resourceful Influencer Club, right? And the secret one is consist of 4 factors. One is difference, like say how you are unique in your own way. Resilience, within that kind of uniqueness within yourself. Not everybody uh, will be the same person, right? With their own set of characteristic and uniqueness, they can be resilient, and with that kind of resilience, they can influence people, and with that influence they can achieve prominence, right? And with this they can achieve leadership growth. And this is the secret number 1, how to be there, right? So now my journey is enumerating 44 lakh women in 2 months in Rajasthan. That is what I did. And I had 12,000 volunteers whom I trained. Actually, we sourced 12,000 volunteers across India who were then trained into 20 to 50 camps, and every day they actually enumerated 75,000 women. This is what we did, and every day 2,500 volunteers were into 250 camps, and we worked in 29 districts of Rajasthan, and the whole task of enumerating 44 lakh women was done in just in 2 months. So that was done by training 12,000 volunteers. These 12,000 volunteers were not there for entire 2 months, but they were there with their own capacities. We trained them. We found out what is so special about them, and then trained, and we achieved this task in 2 months' time. This is the second project that I did, which was CSC project in Meghalaya, which was under National E-Governance in Meghalaya. This was 1,500 trainers that I had trained. I created this business plan for each person. No, everybody, whoever is sitting in the kiosk, he has to earn his livelihood, his or her livelihood. So these were the factors: the PAN card, passport, Aadhaar card print, whatever happens in a kiosk, right? All these should create a livelihood for these people who are sitting at the kiosk. So this was a big project under national e-governance, and we trained 1,500 people. And the most important factor about this kiosk were connectivity. Meghalaya, if you know, it is a state with irregular terrain, and it is mountainous. So what we did was this normal broadband that didn't work there. What we did with uh, with consultation with the National Informatics Center, the Rural Development Department, and the Telephone Department, we actually installed 125 data card in these centers, and also we had installed 5 VSATs at that time. Afterwards, after some time, actually Meghalaya government donated another 42 VSATs to these centers. So this was something very different. Although I am not from a technical background, with consultation with so many people, this could be done, and it was a success. Today, each kiosk in Meghalaya, it requires 3 to 4 lakh donation amount to be taken. So this is a very prominent business center now. So when we started, it was nothing. So my point here is, when you start something, we start small, very small. Then eventually it grows. It grows because you bring in people, you train them, you recognize their qualities, their aptitude, their skills, and integrate all this to make them resourceful. And that is how ultimately a small thing, small initiative becomes very big, right? That is the clue out here. The third thing that I did was Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve. This was an alternative livelihood project which I did in 4 years' time. This was an area where people were not getting food to eat, so they were dependent on the forest for their livelihoods. So since it was a tiger reserve, they were going to the deep forest area where tigers were there, and the tigers were killing these people, right? So that is why the forest department wanted us to give some kind of livelihood options to these people, so that people can start earning without going to the forest. So what we did was, we gave them some alternative solutions. What we did, if people are very illiterate, what alternative solution can you give? The alternative solutions were around agriculture. I am not from a agriculture background, but still I could work with the agriculture department, the KVKs, the horticulture department, and trained these people. And in 4 years' time, this pocket became food sufficient. People were, like, say, standing in lines to sell their food crops. Just 4 years before, there was no food with them to eat. So it took just 4 years' time for me to train 500 people and make a federation. These are the ladies of 2 clusters. One is Manpur clusters, another is Tala cluster. This federation had 2 clusters where these ladies were the leaders of those clusters. And within 4 years' time, these people won 17 awards. The first one actually was won when these farmers visited Gujarat, and the then Chief Minister was Mr. Narendra Modi, who is the Prime Minister right now. He felicitated these farmers when he was the Chief Minister. The second was, they increased their income by cultivating mustard hybrid. So the the Vice Chancellor of Jawaharlal Krishi Agriculture University, he came and estimated the crop. They broke the record of Madhya Pradesh mustard cultivation. That was the power of making people empowered, right? When you train people what they can do, you cannot train a fish to climb the tree, right? So you have to train in something. You have to train people in something in which they can acquire proficiency, right? That one you need to find out. So these people actually did that. And here, if you are seeing, then this is one of the ladies who is winning a prize from the Andhra Pradesh governor for contributing for the mobilization of women. Here, another farmer is winning MS Swaminathan Research Foundation Award. These are awards which were won by the ladies themselves, the local population themselves. It is not by me, right? Another lady won the CII award, which is a cash award of 1.5 lakhs. She won the award because she created the concept of micro capital. You know, when a poor person gets some emergency in his life, all his savings is gone. He again becomes poor. So if micro capital is created, which is not destroyed, then these people can slowly escape the poverty trap. That is the solution. And that is the trick she could find out. And the then industry minister, Mr. Anand Sharma, felicitated her. This was the third project of mine where my resourcefulness came into being. Not only me, all these people, 500 ladies that I had trained, they were all resourceful people. They went to the district governing board also, which is chaired by the district collector. See, these ladies were in Gungats when I started the project. The same ladies, after 4 years, they were they became so smart. They went to the collector, and within 10 minutes time they could get his appointment, and they were so much respected by everybody. Being the members of the district governing board is not a small thing. All the big officers of the districts are members of this board, in which they became the members. So illiterate ladies can become members of a very honorary board also. So it doesn't matter whether you are educated or not. Just if your potential is recognized, you can become supreme, and very powerful. That is what is proven here in this project. So that is how my confidence also grew, that I can train anybody and everybody in this world to become very resourceful, very powerful. This is the next. I am not from a HR background, but I was asked to head the HR of this company where I was working. And it was a 500 plus companies. And during this time, what I did was the company won 2 major awards. This is the then Minister Kapil Sibbal, you know, and she is Chanda Kochar, ICICI CEO, MD that time. So this is a ICICI sponsored award. There was another award also. 2 major awards were there. There were other awards also. And I myself won more than 2 awards by the company. And this is a major magazine, Mint Munch, where 33 women were picked out. One of them was me. And then I was sponsored to a study trip to Canada, where this was also some honor for me, for my contribution to the company. So that was what Secret One did for me. Without being qualified for anything that I did. So many projects I did in agriculture, I did in CSC, which is data connectivity. I'm not a technical person, I'm not an agriculture person, I'm not an HR person. But still, I executed huge projects impacting crores of lives. So now let us come to Secret 2. Anybody can ask, how did you do that? Did you not have any organizational politics? Any sidelines? So many things happen. So many negative things happen in a workplace, right? So let me tell you what all negativity I faced. So The company collapsed in 2010. What did I do? I jumped to a sister company, and then I sidelined twice for promotion, in 2010 once and 2015 once. Wrong appraisal, because I was very disciplined. You can imagine, right? The kind of work that I did, it required a lot of discipline, and I was super disciplined. That you can say is something very different about me, which is not usually people can do. But you can do, I assure you. Why? Because whatever you love doing, you actually do with a lot of discipline. Suppose you love watching a film. Do you get distracted while watching a film if you love watching films? Suppose you love dancing. Do you get distracted while dancing? No, no. You do that with a lot of discipline. So anything you love doing, you will do with a lot of discipline. That is for sure. And I loved this work. You might be loving some kind of work. We'll find out that what kind of work you like doing. And once that is recognized, you will do with lot of discipline. That is for sure. Then, because I was serving in lot of community related development projects, I was not given a budget to serve my clients. So this was done in 2009 and 2016. I love field operation, but I was taken out of field operation twice. When I was taken out of field operation in 2009, I outlined ecotourism for Meghalaya. You know, Northeast is full of natural and scenic beauty. So it was very easy for me to have outlined this ecotourism. Ecotourism is a project wherein you host people and get paid. Like say people come and instead of staying at hotels, they can stay with homestay with you and they pay for their lodging and boarding. Then in 2015, when I was taken out of field operation and I was given the charge of HR, what I did was I outlined as incentive for grassroots workers. What happens in a company is always the top people get awarded. They get promotions, they get salary hikes, everything. Nothing for the grassroots workers, right? So here what I did was for 40 kinds of projects that were there, for every kind of project, for the most bottom of the workers, I designed incentive for them. So if they do certain things, they will get this incentive. That means a lot to the grassroots worker, right? And it doesn't cost the company much. How much incentive can you give? A person who is getting 6,000 rupees, if you give 10% hike, it is just 600 rupees. And if you have say 500 people, then 600 into 5, 500. How much is that? 30,000 or so a month. Every manager, whoever is promoted, he gets 1 lakh at least hike every month. Is it not injustice for the grassroots workers? It is them who do the work, right? So that is what I did when I was taken out of field, right? So I didn't creep. I just did something right, which was right. Some people, sometimes I was not liked, sometimes I was liked. It didn't matter. It didn't bother me. I did what is right. So that is what I'm trying to say. Do what is right. Do what is correct to be done, right? All the time. Then after I designed the incentive for the grassroots workers, I was again taken out of the HR responsibility. I was again sent to field. So there, I was sent to Jharkhand this time. I revived a dead watershed, which was dead for 2 years. That is what I did. And I'll show you, and this is my public victory. People who are what people can see. They can see that uh, I was not given recognition. I was sidelined. I was tormented. I was not given recognition, I was not given promotion, I was not given salary hikes. But still, I did what was right. So let us see the Jharkhand story. Jharkhand, there is a district called Khuti. Khuti is a Naxalite area. That is where I was posted. And I was posted alone. Still, if you see the pictures, this is me there. And many of them are, whoever you were seeing in this picture were Naxals. So was there no danger to my life? No, there was no danger. Why? Because Naxals are normally tribals. These tribals were uh, they were they were uh, they were victims of the systems, the government systems, and that is why they have become Naxals. So here, actually, I explain to these people: you are selling your land, right? If you are selling your land, somebody else has the right over your land. Once they have right over your land, they will do whatever they will do because you have sold, so you have lost your right. So what right you are talking about? Because I was talking and advocating in their favor, that is why there was no danger for my life. And I was doing right, right? So that is why there was no danger. So for you also, these kind of opportunities will come. So how thinking positive helps? Let me show you how it helps. You start with a small skill, small goal. Whatever goal you have, that will start small. It will not start big. Always everything starts very small. So whatever skills you have, what you can do is you start implementing something. It will give you confidence. Once you become successful, a little successful, because you have those skills, then what happens is whatever you know, you will execute that. Whatever you don't know, also you gain confidence. Then the next is when you know that whatever you don't know also you can execute, then you will start taking risk. When you take risk, you increase the chances of success. Because unless you take risk, there is no chance of success, right? You will not get anything. You will go nowhere. So when you start getting success, what happens? You start taking quick action because success is something which is, which becomes habitual, right? So you start taking quick action. Quick action means quick successes. So then you start creating milestones also quickly. That means you also fail in the going forward, you also fail, but when you fail you learn. You don't think that this is a failure and this is something to be frustrated because you are getting simultaneous success as well. And that is personal victory, right? Because you are getting successful, you are creating milestones. This is victory. And when you are victorious, you are not stuck, you are not unhappy, you are happy. And you are going forward, you are creating impact for yourself and for people, right? Now, secret 3. कितना काम करें? Every time you are saying that you should learn something new. No, no, no. All the time you should not learn or do something new because there is a limit of time. Every person is born and here for 100 years max, right? We don't know how much time we have. So for the first 10 or 15 years, you may spread. You may learn 10, say 5 or 6 new things. Then what you can do is you should start integrating all those experiences into something meaningful, as I have done here. Let me show you what I have done. So I did this, I had some agriculture experience. I had some community organization building experience. So what I did was I created 11 farmer producer companies in Sikkim in 3 months. So this was as a result of the previous experiences. This is not something new, but it appears to be new and different, right? So when I came to Delhi in 2017, the first job that I got in some organization was to create 11 farmer producer organization in Sikkim. So from Delhi, I was operating for Sikkim. So I mobilized a team in Sikkim, staying at Delhi, and it was done in 3 months. So my whatever my previous experience was, I just integrated, synthesized, and and actually I took help of the agriculture department as well. In Sikkim, the toppest officer, the chief secretary, also is very accessible. If you want some appointment, then he will give appointment in 10 minutes time. It is not so in other states. Sikkim is a very special state, and Sikkim also had this organic farming culture since 2005. So it didn't take me much from my side. It was just to bring people together. That is what I did. They had the experience of being uh, in a group, in a company. They knew organic farming. So that what I did was I brought everything together and formed these companies. That is what I did. These companies were to be formed from Delhi by the government of India, and it was being implemented in Sikkim. So it was not anything new. It was just synthesis of whatever that I learned earlier. The second thing that I did was, actually I am in that. I am a strategic partnership consultant in an organization which is an association of 238 microfinance institutions. I didn't have any microfinance background. Still, how did I do? How did I come into this organization at all? Because I understood. If you remember, in Bandhavgarh, I had given small loans to people to do their work and repay it back. That is how there was a corpus was built there. So this was my earlier experience. So during that time, I understood how small loans work. Microfinance is what? Small loans, right? So how these small loans work? That is what I knew. Just I extended that idea into this, and that is how I came here, right? So right now, where I am working in a disaster resilient, sustainable, affordable housing. People, 37% of India are poor people, and they need house to stay. That is how they will be. If you don't have any house, would you be able to do any livelihood? Would you be able to do anything positive? No, na. So this is where I am working. 37% of India's population, which means about 35 crores, are without houses or are having temporary houses, right? So this is my mentor, Mr. Vijay Mahajan, who actually who told me some eloquent words about me, that you find resources and platforms to try out your ideas. This is uh, this is how you can do, grow to contribute big. Start small. Vision, you should have a vision which is seeing the invisible. Like, say, you till now I haven't seen how my goal will be achieved, but that is what my vision is: upliftment of the soul, conquering the impediments. That is what objective is. What is ethic? Ethics is culmination of one's values. Strategy is essential step to success. Sustaining consistent endeavor is inspiration. Synergy in achieving common goal is partnership. That is what you do, and then you achieve ultimate victory. This is what ultimate victory is, right? So, the second stage of my work is going global. Now, since I have already trained so many people, now I have a vision and ambition to train people globally in all the country so that people can benefit and spread whatever I want to spread, right? This is my mentor, Mr. Vivek Mehrotra, who actually um, who actually also told me about the digital way of approaching people. This is how one can quickly approach the global scenario. And he says that you can do much bigger than whatever you are doing right now. This is his mentor. He is my super mentor, and who is teaching me the systems and processes how to go global digitally. And this is the first milestone that I have achieved for myself in his system. These are the transformational trainer who have been teaching me. This is a global who is the coach of Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. He is my trainer as well. This is Dean Graziosi, who is also a very successful digital marketer. And these are the company of the awesome, my teachers, my trainers. I'm so proud of them. And here is the curriculum. My flagship program is Leadership Growth Blueprint. And along with this, I have 5 bonuses. And the flagship program is about irreplaceability, sought after, stand out as a person of solutions, the ultimate leader. And it is a 4-day course. The constituent on the day 1, you will learn how to design your own blueprint, reborn with resourcefulness, core values, set priorities, standing out in a crowd, goal setting, backstories of resourceful influencing, unusual leadership style. And this is my goal tracker, dream tracker I call it. And whether you all the goals happens in this way or not, you have to outline a goal tracker so that you give yourself, your subconscious mind, your higher self something to work on, right? So we will create something like this for you also, everybody. And there is supplementary work in level 2. You will be joining the level 1 course. In level 2, you will have so many things. Action over excuses, transformational leisure, you are enough, know your worth, keep educating yourself, take baby steps. These are the supplementary work and exercises that we'll be doing. And each of them has some weightage, right? So first one is 40%, the second one is 5%, 45%, like this. This one have weightage, and every day or every week you can create a story and weigh yourself, assess yourself as to how much you have grown. So this gives a very um, systematic and realistic uh, roadmap for you to grow. Day 2, we'll learn about building resilience. Give up a little later. Belief is a precursor to behavior, aptitude and perception. Resourceful is you and around, trust building and team acceptance. This is day 2. And in level 2, we learn about struggle is part of the story. Visualize your success, take the challenge, rewrite to inspire, clue in contradiction, paint the pathway. So these again will be exercises which you can take weekly basis and evaluate yourself. Day 3 about impact influence. Implant influence, resourcefulness is towards a desired goal, self-track the learning pattern, innovate and reserve, team game, emotional resilience, steady growth. And the supplementaries are automated growth house, boss in next level, raise the bar, average can be 2% plus minus proximity, everyday distinction. Day 4 is about on the move. Like say, no matter how much you do, someday you will exit this stage and grow higher. So you have to be always on the move. What we will learn is shifting paradigm, mindset for greener opportunities, find your vision and decide your version, taking action right away, money management talks, take a stand and stand by it, constructive exchange to improve adversity quotient, small action step to the journey of 1,000 miles, trust in relationships, hands-on before automation, and the supplementary studies are deep learning, sensibility, wellness, upgraph. 5 bonuses are internal patterns, rejuvenate self, thoughts, belief and behaviors, mindset at workplace, fine-tuning the goal, and the supplementary studies are pull your own strings, attitude shift, body capacity, expectation aligned, choose your own phoenix. The second bonus is plan smart, pause as a reaction, silence as a reaction, bring in gratitude, plan ABC, ambiguity, and additional studies are permit yourself to dream, higher self-esteem, loser to winner and achiever, comfort zone syndrome, natural abilities, core competencies, touch base with your strengths at the moment of despair, flat out, fantastic, next right step, Seva give you when you want to receive, examine past conditioning and blockage, victory. Third bonus is process versus results, continuous upgrade. Tracking along race system, inherent attitude, elevate standards, mindset reset, facing criticism, core intentions, and the 5 M's are make it possible in time, maintain high standards being interested, manage time by delegating, which my colleagues volunteer to undertake. I call these as 5 M's, make, maintain, manage, mindful, milestones. So these will be exercises we will be taking. Fourth bonus is delegate appropriate. It is about mentoring, talent nurturing, mapping HR, role assignment, progress tracking, acknowledge contribution, and the supplementary are tune in with self, assess yourself, strategize mentoring, lethargy. So these are the triplets of learning that we'll be doing. Fifth bonus will be joypreneurship. We are afraid of being happy. So we need to be happy. How to be happy? We should learn to be happy. Creative diversion, investing in a new skill, monetizing the skill, social cause, inhabit the world. You will be a global leader by the time you reach to this stage. And the supplementary studies will be, I call it as joy, juggle, out of the box, yardstick. Measure your yardstick, and this will be in triplets, right? And the entire bundle is for creating influence with resourcefulness, growing inner strength, building credibility, being resilient, implant influence, anticipating and preparing for change. So this is how we create the happiness, we create the productivity, we create being standing in this thing, and the entire bundle is about 59,994, and the results by every week are: week 1, finding your USP. Decide if you are doing what you like doing. These are the tangible results each week that we will get. Week 2 will get making the mindset document, know the person you are, winning trust of seniors, understand their vision, winning trust of peers, resolve the gap in perception, goal setting, dream like a wild bird, dream tracker, put a time frame to your dream, turning a negative story to a positive one instantly, changing gear to positivity, reinforcement of positive thoughts, shifting paradigm, attitude and perception, reinforcement of positive thoughts, shifting paradigm, habit and action, creating a success blueprint, clarity about current workplace issues, confidence installation, proactive, not reactive, mindfulness, developing empathy, transition map, integration of passion and emotion with work. These are the 14 tangible results at the end of 14 weeks. And the webinar price is just 5999. So if you want to connect with me, then you can write to me at mail@leadingwithsangeeta.com. And this is all about the webinar. Now you can ask me questions, and Yes. So let me stop the recording also here.